Hi, I'm Aslam Moolla and I am a registered attorney, and in today's video we're going to be talking about what is the difference between joint ventures and partnerships. If you're just starting into business, it can be difficult to know whether to enter into a joint venture or partnership. What is the difference between the two arrangements, and what are the key advantages and disadvantages of each? Now, before you take this step, you should understand what both joint ventures and partnership means. That is the purpose of today's video. So let's get started with it. What is a joint venture agreement? Now, in a joint venture agreement, what happens is you have two or more parties. These can be individuals or companies that come together to work towards a specific business goal. However, both of them retain their separate identity between each other. In other words, they don't come together as one business. They work separately, independently of each other towards a common business goal. Now, what are some examples of joint venture business arrangements? We have property development is a very common example. Publishing agreements is a common example as well. Mining syndicates, especially in South Africa, these are good examples of joint venture agreements that happen. Companies that want to work towards getting work from government, for example, or bidding on large blue chip companies, going in combined forces is much easier to get the project as a joint venture than going in individually. That is a very strong advantage towards having a joint venture agreement. Now, in terms of their advantages, or further advantages are, it allows for growth without borrowing additional capital, and it also allows for greater access to resources and staff. In other words, you can pool resources and work together instead of working independently. Now, some of the disadvantages of joint venture is what happens to your intellectual property. For example, if two people are coming together, you are now sharing confidential information about your business with somebody else. So trust is a very important factor when going into a joint venture arrangement. Furthermore, the key terms involved in a joint venture agreement are, in particular, what is the purpose of the agreement, who's going to be responsible for particular tasks between the two different companies or the two different individuals, who owns the valuable confidential information that will be created as part of the joint venture agreement, what happens when a party exits the agreement, and what will be the dispute resolution process between the individuals or the parties. Now, let's compare a joint venture agreement to a partnership agreement. Now, unlike a joint venture agreement, which comes to an end, a partnership is an ongoing relationship between parties. In other words, it is not a separate legal entity. It is actually where partners come together to join forces and work together on a particular goal. The main difference between a joint venture and a partnership is the agreement. You're going to have a joint venture agreement for a joint venture, and you're going to have a partnership agreement for a partnership. Now, the advantages to a partnership are quite well known. It's easy to establish, it has low startup costs, and it is something that you can trust quite easily because people who are coming into the business have a vested interest in that business succeeding. The disadvantages is that each person in the partnership is personally liable, jointly and severally, for the partnership debts. That is a major disadvantage. The key terms of a partnership agreement are how the partnership is going to work, what are the operating hours, who owns the intellectual property, and how you will divide the assets involved in the partnership agreement. The key takeaways are, before you enter into a joint venture or a partnership, carefully consider what the project entails and what would be the correct legal structure. If you need help in your situation, you're more than welcome to book an appointment with our office where we will be able to guide you on both. I wish you all the best, and I'll speak to you soon.